Hi, it's me from the future, and I read 3 books in this video. First one is The Only One Left by Riley Sager, and I give this 4 stars. This is a mystery thriller about a girl who is going to take care of this bedridden woman who allegedly killed her entire family. Then I read Blood Sugar by Sascha Rothchild. Gosh, I love this book, 5 stars. It is more of a literary fiction than it is a thriller. A lot of good quotes in here, very thought-provoking, very vulnerable. And this is about a girl who is accused of 4 murders, but she's actually guilty of only 3. And the one murder that she's not guilty of is the murder or the death of her husband. So pick this up. And the last book that I read is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. Gave this 2 stars. It's your, basic thriller. It is about a wedding at a remote island and someone dies. I did not really like that one.
When we went to the mall, my husband lovingly said that I could buy 1 book. I have not read from Mr. Riley Sager in a while, and I actually was really looking for House Across the Lake, but they didn't have it, so this was the only one they had. And as you can see, I'm almost halfway through the book. Our main character, she is a caregiver, and she was assigned to this mansion where an old lady lives along with her other servants. Essentially, the main character is freaked out, this caregiver, because this is a woman who allegedly murdered her whole family. So, allegedly. So she was not convicted. It is a Lizzie Borden style type of story where there was no proof that this woman killed her family at 17 years old. So, but it doesn't matter even if you did it or not, because though you did not go to prison, you're still in the confines of your own home. Like, she has never gone out for decades. And actually, she has polio and other sicknesses, so she can't really move around. And the only thing that she can move is her left hand. So, of course, main character, she is like creeped out by this, but she has no choice. She needs the money. She has to do this. I'm at that point in the story where it is starting to get to the meat of what really happened that night. And this caregiver, she's getting accounts of what could have happened from the different help in the house. The help in the house, they're not all unsure, it's just still gossip. And she is also learning what happened that night from Lenora, so the old woman. She is giving an account of what happened by typing on the typewriter, like 1 word per minute on the typewriter. And at the beginning of the book, I was like, okay, this is a beautiful mansion. It doesn't feel creepy at all. It doesn't give that atmosphere of creepy vibes right when you start it, as opposed to the feeling that you get when you read Lock Every Door, where the old building is just creepy right from the get-go. So it's not like that in the beginning. But now, towards the middle, at nighttime, things are starting to get a little bit scary. Because caregiver, she is hearing these sounds coming from her patient's room. So they have adjoining rooms, right? And she hears creaking on the floorboards, but she claims, she peeks, okay? And when she peeks into the room, there's someone there. And obviously it cannot be Lenora because she can't walk. But first of all, who is psychotic enough to check if the noise, like if I'm about to sleep and if I hear like walking noises outside my room, I would not bother checking, because that might be, I don't know, something else, a critter. But to be honest, it could also be the other thing, the more supernatural thing. Why would you check that at night? I spent like 2 hours reading this last night, and later at night I'll be reading again.
It's days later, and I'm actually 80% through the book. And I would have to say that I did guess one of the twists, but I guessed it towards the middle. Like, I was feeling like this is what's gonna happen. But I think the magic with this book is that there's another twist. So there's another twist upon a twist upon a twist. And I kind of like that because, of course, I like it when I don't guess a thriller mystery. I think this book reads more of a mystery rather than a thriller. Although there were times that it really got me a little bit creeped out, especially that I'm reading it at night. What I do have to comment on is it seems like there is a lot of regurgitation of the same information over and over per chapter, and then something incredibly crazy happens towards the end of the chapter. Then the next chapter opens again with our main character like pondering about the information that she knows so far. And I am really not a fan of that. And that is the reason why I gave a low rating to, and what was that? What's that called? By Peter Swanson, the very popular thriller book, The Kind Worth Killing. Yes, I gave that a low rating because it tells you what happens in one chapter, and then in the next chapter it says it again but in a different POV, and then perhaps another chapter, a third chapter that does the same thing, right? And here Riley Sager sort of doing that, but it's not as annoying, but it is noticeable. The only author that I do not mind having those like recaps is Haruki Murakami, because he actually shows some like a different angle to the same event, but not in a boring way. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I am almost done with this one. Last night I finished this, and it was twist upon twist upon twist towards the very end. Like, it gave me whiplash, and I felt like the build-up was so slow. It was a slow-paced build-up, but then it answers all the plot holes or the plot questions that you may have. The plot twists are twisting. I guess the main plot twist, but there are subplots that I did not know what the twist was. So I think that's kind of good. What I would have appreciated more is if it took not like a couple of pages, like if the reveal is like so much has been revealed towards the last, I don't know, 10% of the book, it kind of, let's just say, it sort of took me out. Like I haven't recovered from the plot twist yet, and then another one in my face. But I gave this 4 stars, but this goes third. So I've read Home Before Dark and Lock Every Door, and then the only one left would be my third and top 3 in the ranking. But it's not bad. It's not bad. Better than most thrillers out there. So last night I started Blood Sugar by Sascha Rothchild, and I actually took a video of myself going a little bit overboard crazy because I felt the 5-star feeling, and it's really from the very beginning. Let me show you the clip. Okay, listen. Okay, I just finished Only One Left, and I made a mistake of starting this book, and I am calling 5 stars on page 8. It gave me 5-star feeling on page 8. Maybe I'm feeling overwhelmed, but it is really, really well written. And the fact that the back says mesmerizing, that's the only thing that I can think about describing the first 3 pages. Okay, first paragraph, yes. First page, definitely. The final line of the first chapter, which is just 3 pages. It gave me the 5-star feeling. Wow. And I really want to read more. I really do. It's already midnight. Perhaps I'm gonna read a little bit more because I can't. I don't think I'll be able to sleep with this adrenaline coursing through me. I did read until 1 a.m. last night, and I had to stop myself because there's a part of me that wants to relish this, but also, okay, one of my toxic traits is when a book gets so good, I tend to stop reading because I want to, take my time with it. But actually, if I didn't have a lot of important things to do today, I would spend the whole day reading this. If I were to read this uninterrupted, that'll take me probably like 2 to 3 hours, I'm guessing, because it's hard to put down. And I am quite tempted to continue reading. Like, there are short chapters. I want to read the short chapter, but I know after I read one chapter, I'm going to read another one. And so that is why I'm going to delay gratification and read this later when I'm done with all the things that I have to do as a reward. So I'll probably update again later. Okay, so I have not updated in a long time, but I finished Blood Sugar like 2 days ago, and I gave it 5 stars. I wasn't able to give a review right after because I slept at 2 a.m. finishing this book. The next day it was just too busy. But anyway, what I found really lovable about this book is that it is very vulnerable. There are a lot of quotes that would really resonate with you. Well, at least for me it did. What I do have to say is I did not expect it to be that slow burn, but towards the end it was very well paced, let's say. So of course there is a mystery aspect of it, but I think it is more literary fiction than it is a thriller. So, and I guess that's why it doesn't have much high ratings on Goodreads, because perhaps people read this book and expect it to be at breakneck pace, but it's not. And what I love about this especially is that there are a lot of things that are being mentioned in chapters, but they come back and are mentioned again written in a meaningful way. Like each and every word that is in this book made sense, or they all had purpose. So nothing was like given just to confuse the reader into thinking that, oh, that this might be the twist and this might be the twist based on that. I mean, you could think that, but towards the end, it will reveal to you what that actually meant, and it's not the twist. Yeah, I really adore this book, though I would have to say that the strength is definitely in the writing. And I love that the main character is a therapist, so she is in psychology, and I love psychology. And actually, after reading this, I am quite determined. Like, I have a dream. My dream is actually to be working in the mental health industry. The industry, yeah, is that the word? That is actually what I want to do, and it's just that I chose to create a family first. But if all goes well in the future, I might go back to school, get my graduate degree, and get into mental health. So thank you so much, Sascha Rothchild, for reminding me that, hey, being a therapist is really great. Okay, so that's that for blood sugar. One of the things that I forgot to mention about this book, or how I resonated with it exactly, it's this bit where the girl said she is having, like, okay, so she's under investigation for the murder of her husband, right? And then I think there was this part when the investigator was like really doubting what she's trying to say. And then there's this part where she said that, have I thought about wishing my husband dead? Yeah. He's like, sometimes when he does this annoying little things, I want him dead because he's so annoying. And then she said, oh, but really I can't tell that to the investigator because he is going to think that I actually murdered my husband. And I think that really makes sense because there are a lot of thoughts that we have. I think most people call them now intrusive thoughts, wherein we feel like when we're really angry, really pissed off, really annoyed, we tend to think that, or maybe even hope like, oh, I wish we were dead, or I could kill you right now. You know, those kinds of thoughts. And having those thoughts sometimes makes me feel like, man, I am such a messed up person for thinking those things. But actually, it is normal. It's a normal reaction, normal human reaction to wish something to die because it frustrates you so much. And what I really enjoyed, I mean, not enjoyed, but what really felt really seen, okay, this book made me feel really seen, is when the author said that we are only able to think about these things, these intrusive thoughts that we have, whenever we are in the right headspace for it. Or if things are going really well in our life, that is when we are able to think about these terrible things. I get it. Like, thinking about an extreme example, let's say you have a family member, a parent, or a brother or sister that you really, really dislike. And you could say that, oh, I could kill my sister for doing this and for, getting everything she wants. And here I am doing everything, but I can't meet up to our parents' expectations because she's the best daughter in this family. Something like that, right? You can only think that you want her to die if she is not, or if everything is going smooth sailing. But if she has, like, let's say your sister has cancer, or she's on the verge of death, you would not even think about those intrusive thoughts. Yeah, so I find that really interesting, and I really like that it was mentioned in this book because then it normalizes these intrusive thoughts, very irrational thoughts that humans have, and making it more human, making it more accepted. Because these are just thoughts, okay? No one is really acting out on these thoughts. That is all. And since I was in a trend of reading thrillers, I finally picked up the guest list. This has been on my TBR for a long time. Like, I bought this like 2022, I guess, and I don't want it to reach 2024 anymore. It's about a wedding and a very remote island. We have the couple who's gonna get married. We have the wedding planner, the best man, the bridesmaid, and there's a plus one as well. I don't know who has died yet. Of course, it's flashing back to before the wedding, and then it gives you snippets to what actually happened. So far, like, when I was reading it in the beginning, I was like, okay, I don't particularly love the writing. I guess I'm still warming up to it right after I read this kind of writing, and then I go into something like, this is a proper thriller. But I guess I'm getting into the pace of things, but I can't still have any opinions about me, whether I'm able to guess who is the killer. Like, I don't even know who was killed yet. So, yeah. This is gonna be the last book for this vlog. I am 50% through, or maybe like 40%. Okay, this is just a run-of-the-mill thriller. It's actually not a thriller. I think it's more of a mystery that is trying to be a thriller because it is trying to creep you out in some points, but it's not working. Also, I can relate to one character I do not find annoying, and she is the +1. Actually, she is the wife of the best friend of the bride. Okay, last night I finished the guest list, so I'm giving it 2 stars. I can see how some people would like this and be amazed about it if it is their first mystery book. To be honest, I'm not that impressed anymore. Oh, darn it. Because I have read a lot of books with the same like kind of vibe that this is going for, but those other books successfully did that. Okay, the characters here, we are following like 5 POVs, and each POV, the tone is the same. It's all one note. And you can tell that it is one note is if when you cover the name on the very chapter page, like, and then you read the text, like you wouldn't be able to tell who is talking specifically. And that means it's one note. And that means that the characters do not have their own voice. You are just really legit reading from their perspective. And perhaps this would have worked better if it was in third person and the narrator was just, you know, recalling the events from a different angle. And I guess since there are too much POVs and the characters don't feel like flesh, like I didn't care about the characters, so when the twist came, I didn't really care about it because I was not invested. Like I knew there was gonna be someone who's gonna be killed because it says 1 murderer at the back. I know the rest would be like innocent, but they all have motives, like the back said as well. The person that I feel like is doing this mystery slash thriller in a very interesting and, well, in a better way is Alice Feeney. So the first book I read from her is Rock, Paper, Scissors. I like her writing. Her writing is really good, and the characters, they come out of the page. I mean, you won't feel like you are reading from like some basic nobody's perspective. Like you would actually feel for the characters that she created. I like Daisy Darker better. I sort of spoiled myself for Rock, Paper, Scissors. This was unpredictable. Actually, this one was too, but I really love the twist in this. Okay, so anyway, that's that video. I read 3 books. It's so lovely when I see the tab sides. So I'm happy to have read 2 books that I bought like within the month, like within the past month, and this one, a very old one. These are the books. 3 thrillers. Great. Thank you. Bye.